What are some of the things that you found to be effective in driving attention, but also just in getting in front of people's eyes?
I think the number one thing is being authentic on the internet.
Mm,
It's really easy to put forth a persona that is fabricated, and we were able to get away with that in the early days of Instagram, and people still get away with that to a large percentage. I mean, um, I see TikTok videos all the time of somebody walking through some penthouse apartment and they're like, "Oh, we just bought this." I'm like, "No, you're on the like crew who's redoing the drywall." um, so people still try to get away with it. So I think just be authentically you. It's a lot easier to keep up with that anyway. I think Steve Jobs said something to the effect of the storytellers are the ones who will always win, or something like that.
yeah.
History belongs to the storytellers. Anyway, something like that. You can Google quote storytellers and Steve Jobs and probably get it right. But I think if you can tell a good story, you will win. I think
Mm,
no matter the technology, no matter the year, if you can tell a good story, you will always win. And I think that we're seeing that on the internet even more and more now. Now that the novelty of like TikTok specifically and short form video has sort of worn off, it's the people who can distill something down into an 8-second story that win.
mm,
And the people who are making 30-second to 1 minute videos, it's the people who are telling good stories that win. Even with music marketing, the guys who are doing skits that lead into their song, or they're taking a part of their song and then they're turning that into a story, or they're telling
mm.
a story about the song and then playing the song. Like, these are the folks who are winning with music marketing, not the people who are just you swipe up to the next video and they're just singing into the camera. Like, that doesn't win anymore. It's storytelling is the core of it. That's why getting a good hook at the top of your video is so important, and then figuring out a way to support that in the video. um so I think being authentically you, being a good storyteller. Being a good storyteller also leads to being a good songwriter. You're
So
telling
true.
stories
Yeah.
lyrically, melodically, you're telling stories musically with the track. Even if you're a producer and you don't sing and you're just making beats, you're telling a story with that track. Do you want somebody to feel tough when they listen to it? Do you want them to feel sad? Do you want them to feel mellow? These are all different ways that you're expressing a story. So if you can be a good storyteller and you can be honest, I think you've got a really good shot.
Man, those are great. I love those. I feel like those are the core applies across every tactic. I feel like that's
Yeah,
like the core of being like a person.
100%. Yeah. Because aren't we all, to go super philosophical, aren't we all writing our own stories in real time? Right. I mean,
Yeah. And that's
story
how
and
you
it's
relate to people. That's how you make sense of yourself and of other people.
yeah,
So
and the stories we tell ourselves about who we are, what our past means, finding meaning in our trauma or the things that were bad that happened to us. We find purpose in those things. It's why people who struggle with substances end up turning around and helping others who are struggling with those same substances and
mm,
things like that.
like if story is kind of authenticity, story are kind of the foundational pieces of being a good musician, a good marketer. How do you grow as a storyteller?
I think the most fundamental way you can grow in storytelling is to write every day, even if it's just a journal that you don't share with anybody.
Mm,
I have written in a journal every single day for whew, uh, 15 years or so.
that's
Um,
awesome, man.
yeah,
Nice.
I miss some days here and there, but for the most part, the chain is unbroken for about a decade and a half of just writing every morning. Um, the clearest communicators and thinkers that I can think of that I pay attention to in the world are people who write daily. Um, you know, you look at like visionary lyricists like Kendrick Lamar or Eminem, like they are always just jotting stuff down. Like Eminem is famous for just keeping like pieces of paper. You're just literally writing lyrics all the time on like hotel cocktail napkins and stuff. Like just always writing, always writing. And that's the
Mm,
best way, I think, to clarify your thinking, because you can have an idea about something and you can write it 1,000 different ways, and it might take 1,000 different times before you can figure out how to express it clearly. I mean, even like this conversation, I'll be able to go back and look at this and say, oh, I could have explained that better. And the best way to do that is to take that idea and write it down, and
Totally.
then share share those ideas online. I had a great dialogue with a dude in my comment section on Instagram this week, where I shared a screenshot of a tweet that I had written, just repurposing content as you do, and he disagreed. And so I tried to support my point, to say, well, this is what I was trying to convey. And then he replied with something like, okay, perhaps if you had said it this way, I might have understood.
Mm,
Now I see your point. Now I understand. And I think that that's a really good point. I'm glad that you took the time to reply. And we had a good
mm,
back and forth beyond that. But it gave me an opportunity to clarify my thinking and become a better storyteller, because I practiced by writing and I practiced by sharing. So I think if you
mm.
write every day and then you share your thoughts, with a Substack or a blog or on Twitter or whatever, it's only going to help you become a better storyteller visually, with music, and with writing.